is there, and he's not buying into any of that. He's there working for the American people, and he threatens their way of life. It's been really good for them in Washington for so long, but the swamp is being drained by Donald Trump every day, so they have to do something. They're so desperate, Sean. This is it. They are so desperate to get him out of office. They know that this is the only shot they have. And it's kind of sad. You know, you heard Nancy Pelosi back in March say that the only way she would bring impeachment forward is if it was a bipartisan effort, if it had bipartisan support. We saw today, Sean, there was bipartisan support against impeachment, though. No Republican voted for impeachment. And in fact, 2 Democrats voted against impeachment, yet here we are. And I think it's very obvious to the American people. But the good news is that despite all of this, Donald Trump every single day is doing the opposite of what Congress is doing. He's actually working for the American people.
You know, there actually was Congressman, what's his name? Al Green, I think his name was. He actually said...
He said it. That's the only way we get him out.
We better impeach him because we're not going to beat him. The interesting thing that I see in all of this is it's like with everything else. The world of the deep state's about to be rocked with the Pfizer report from the Inspector General. The Durham report is now a criminal investigation. I know a lot of what's coming there, too. It will shock the conscience of the American people, all that they have done to destroy Donald Trump. The timing's probably now going to be perfect. So I actually see this as you're in charge of Trump 2020. To me, they're giving you the biggest campaign donation possible because the American people see this for what it is. This has been 3 years of doing nothing for the American people and obsessing over this.
Yeah, and it's the boy who cried wolf, Sean. You know, first we saw the Russian collusion hoax. They desperately tried to say that Donald Trump had colluded with Russia, that our campaign colluded with Russia. We had $30 million in 2 years that the American people had to go through to finally get to the end of the Mueller report, find out that did not happen. There was no collusion with Russia. But you're right. This is a gift for us. And in fact, our internal polling shows that Donald Trump's support has gone up thanks to the impeachment inquiry. Since Nancy Pelosi called for this, we have seen the numbers go up. Since June, in a head-to-head matchup with Joe Biden, we've increased 10 points with women alone, Sean. With independent voters and young voters, we've gone up even more than that. So, you know what? We can let them keep going with this because the American people are not distracted by this. The American people feel every single day what this president has done for them, and they are not going to be swayed by some nonsensical sham impeachment, some coup against the president, because I think they see this for what it is. And I agree with you. I think it only helps us every day. And I've been saying it for a long time. I don't know who gave the Democrats the shovel and said start digging, but we're just going to sit back and let them keep going because they look so crazy to the American people.
And remember, Baghdadi's dead, and we have record low unemployment. Dan Bongino, along with Fox News correspondent at large, Geraldo. Well, he's your friend, Geraldo.
That's good, John. Good.
Listen, I say
I love the guy, but if she does run, I just, you know, because I am fond of the 42nd president, you know, his scandals have only percolated since 2016. Now, news breaking with the Epstein death in prison, Jeffrey Epstein's death, that the former president rode the Lolita Express, Epstein's private jet, 26 times.
Yeah.
Where was he going?
Did the
former First Lady know about it?
Interesting.
Well, you can imagine.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Those are the kinds of issues that she will have to deal with. She's already being portrayed as bitter and boring. 3 times is definitely not the charm for Secretary of State Clinton. I hope she does not do it. I hope she preserves what's left of her legacy. I mean, you talk about trust. I mean, how many times have you mentioned the 30,000 deleted emails? You know, she'll have to answer that question.
Oh,
finally.
by the way,
I hope that it was just a joke.
That now is reopened. Charles Grassley is getting to the bottom of it, and I think, listen, it all started with her cheating Bernie Sanders. They rigged that whole primary. Then she did violate the Espionage Act. She had top secret classified email. And Geraldo, as good a lawyer as you are, if Dan Bongino had subpoenaed emails and he deleted them, cleaned the hard drive with acid and bleach pit and busted up devices and removed SIM cards, you couldn't keep Dan Bongino out of jail no matter how good an attorney you are. Dan Bongino, could he?
Probably not, Sean. I don't think any American other than Hillary Clinton could have gotten away with that. I've argued from the start that the real scandal and why they're covering for Hillary is not for Hillary. It's because she emailed Barack Obama, and Barack Obama, I think, lied about it. He said on national television, I learned about the email scandal from the news. Really? She was emailing you. How'd you figure that one out there, Barack? So I think that's what they're really hiding. But let me present just a bit, if I may, of a contrarian view here. Why shouldn't she jump in? I mean, candidly, Sean, this field sucks. It's the worst field ever. There are really 3 lanes for the Democrats right now, all occupied by hapless candidates. You have the establishment lane occupied by Biden, who can't get out of his own way. They're hiding him. You have the liberal lane occupied by a communist who vacationed in the Soviet Union, Bernie Sanders. And then you have the outsider lane occupied by Buttigieg, who's not even an outsider. He's a terrible mayor in a city he's already failed. So really, they have a real problem. And I'd say to Hillary, why not? I mean, it's the worst field I've ever seen. She might as well jump in. Can't make it any worse.
And Geraldo,
I would pick
Baghdadi's
Mitt
dead.
Romney if I were the Democrats.
And record low unemployment, the best since 1969 for African Americans, Hispanic Americans, Asian Americans, women in the workplace, youth unemployment. I would say we're better off than we were 4 years ago, and I would say the Trump voters are pretty pissed off at how they have mistreated this president.
How could they not be? You didn't hear me. I mentioned Mitt Romney as a good candidate for the Democrats. Maybe he could save the party. I am very, very dismayed by what happened in the House of Representatives today. I mean, these people using the Democrats using the sanctimonious language of the hallowed Constitution to justify their preordained, one-sided, partisan, hyper-partisan decision. I'm so glad that the Republicans held tight and not a single one defected. I think that spells out to the American people what this is. This is a political exercise, an assassination attempt, a hatchet job. I'm glad that it came down the way it did. The president will benefit, I believe, from this effort.
And it's also gonna backfire big time and blow up right in their faces. That is a certainty. Good to see you both. When we come back, Rush Limbaugh just ripped the Democrats today for the sham vote in the House. That's straight ahead. Earlier today, Rush Limbaugh, well, he's had enough of the Democrats' endless smears of the president. I couldn't agree more. Take a look.
As every one of their plans blows up, they're going to have a new one that everybody will react to like they did Trump-Russia. This is the thing that bugs me. At what point does everybody say, enough? You tried with Russia and you bombed out, and you've tried with this phone call and it's a nothing burger. Enough. But nobody reacts that way. With every new, never before heard about revelation, what does Washington do? They stop, they gulp, they go, oh my God, Trump might have done that? It's been 3 years and Donald Trump hadn't done anything. Donald Trump hasn't done a single thing for which he has been accused, of which.
Did keep his promises, cut taxes, original justices, trade deals, kill Baghdadi, building the wall. Yeah, promises made, kept. We'll never be the media mob. Say DVR, never miss an episode. Let not your heart be troubled. Laura Ingraham, take it away.
Hannity, don't you think that the trick that they've been trying to pull, and I'm going to get into this tonight, this thing is like, one of those fake, toy guns that ends up like backfiring on the person trying to play the scam. I mean, this is a really stupid gambit that the Democrats have made, and they're about to blow all these moderate Democrat seats because they're all tying their boats to Nancy's anchor, and they're all going to go